Halt! An audience! Well met, in fact, and just in time.
Why is that?
Why, we grow rusty, and you catch us at the very point of decadence. By this time tomorrow, we might have forgotten everything we ever knew. That's a thought, isn't it? We'd be back where we started, improvising.
Tumblers, are you?
We could give you a tumble if that's your taste, and times being what they are. Otherwise, for a jingle of coin, we can do you a selection of gory romances full of fine cadence and corpses, pirated from Italian, and it doesn't take much to make a jingle. Even a single coin has music in it. Tragedians, at your command!
My name is Guildenstern, and this is Rosencrantz. I'm sorry, his name is Guildenstern, and I'm Rosencrantz.
A pleasure. We've played to bigger, of course, but quality counts for something.
What is your line?
Tragedy, sir. Deaths and disclosures, universal and particular. Denouement, both unexpected and inexorable. Melodrama on all levels, including the suggestive. We transport you into the world of intrigue and illusion. Clowns, if you like, murderers. We can do you ghosts and battles on the skirmish levels. Heroes, villains, tormented lovers, set pieces in the poetic vein. We can do you faithless wives and ravished virgins, flagrante delicto at a price. But that comes under realism, for which there are special terms. Getting warm, am I?
Well, I don't know,
It
actually.
costs little to watch, and little more if you happen to get caught up in the action, if that's your taste, and times being what they are.
What are they?
Indifferent,
Bad?
wicked. Now, what precisely is your pleasure? Gentlemen, disport yourselves. There. See anything you like?
What do they do?
Let your imagination run riot. They are beyond surprise.
Where have you been?
Roundabout. A nest of children carries the custom of the town. Juvenile companies, they are the fashion, but they cannot match our repertoire. We'll stoop to anything if that's your bent.
They'll go up.
There's one being born every minute. Onward!
Where are you going?
Halt! Home, sir.
Where from?
Home. We're traveling people. We take our chances where we find them.
It was the chance, then.
Chance?
You found us.
Oh, yes.
You were looking.
Oh, no.
Chance, then.
Or fate.
Yours or ours?
It could hardly be one without the other.
Fate, then.
Oh, yes. We have no control. Tonight we play to the court, or the night after, or to the tavern, or not.
Perhaps I can use my influence
At the tavern?
at the court. Yeah, I would say I have some influence.
Would you say so?
I have influence yet.
Yet what?
I have influence. You said something about getting caught up in the action.
I did. I did. You're quicker than your friend. Now, for a handful of guilders, I happen to have a private and uncut performance of The Rape of the Sabine Women, or rather woman, or rather Alfred. Get your skirt on, Alfred! And for 8, you can participate, taking either part or both for 10, with encores. Get your skirt off, Alfred!
I, It could have been, it didn't have to be obscene. It could have been a bird out of season, dropping bright feathered on my shoulder. It could have been a tongueless dwarf standing by the road to point the way. I was prepared, but it's this, isn't it? No enigma, no dignity, nothing classical, portionless. Only this, a comic pornographer and a rabble of prostitutes.
You should have caught us in better times. We were purists then. Onward!
Do you like to bet?
Halt! What kind of bet do you have in mind?
Double or quits?
Well, heads.
Again, heads. Again,
Heads.
heads.
Tails.
Heads.
No! They don't like the odds.
After six in a row, I say they were in your favor.
No.
You were right. Heads. Heads, I win.
No.
Right again. Heads, I win.
No!
And right again. Heads, I win.
No!
Would you believe it? Bet me the year of my birth doubled is an odd number.
Your birth?
If you don't trust me, don't bet with me.
Would you trust me?
Bet me then.
My birth.
Odd numbers you win.
You're on.
Good. Year of your birth. Double it. Even numbers I win. Odd numbers I lose.
We have no money.
Ah. Then what have you got? What it for this?
It's the best we've got.
Then the times are bad indeed. The very air stinks. Come here, Alfred. Do you lose often? Yes, sir. Then what could you have to lose? Nothing, sir. Do you like being an actor? No, sir. You and I, Alfred, we could create a dramatic precedent here. Oh, come, Alfred. This is no way to fill the theaters of Europe. Do you know any good plays?
Plays?
I thought you were actors.
Oh! Oh! Well, we are. We are! But there has been much coal.
You lost. Well, then, one of the Greeks, perhaps. You're familiar with the tragedies of antiquity, are you? The great homicidal classics, Martry, Patry, Fratry, Sorry, Exari, and it goes without saying, saucy, suicidal, made into aspiring to godheads, and vice versa. Your kind of thing, is it?
Well, no. I can't say it is, really. We're more of the blood, love, and rhetoric school.
Well, I'll leave the choice to you. If there is anything to choose between them,
They're hardly divisible, sir. Well, I can do you blood and love without rhetoric, and I can do you blood and rhetoric without love, and I can do you all three, concurrent or consecutive, but I cannot do you love and rhetoric without blood. Blood is compulsory. They're all blood, you see.
is this what people want?
It's what we do.
Thank you. We'll let you know.
38 entrances there and there.
Wow. Aren't you going to change the costume?
I never change out, sir.
Always in character.
That's it.
Aren't you going to come on?
I am on.
But if you're on, you can't come on. Can you?
I start on.
But it hasn't started. Go on. We'll look out for you.
I'll give you a wave.
I entreat you both that, being of so young days brought up with him and Sith, so neighbored to his youth and happier, that you safe your rest here on our court some little time, so by your companies to draw him on to pleasures and to gather so much as from occasion you may glean, whether aught to us unknown afflicts him thus, that open lies within our remedy.
Good gentlemen, he hath much talked of you, and sure I am two men there is not living to whom he more adheres. If it will please you to show us so much gentry and goodwill as to expand your time with us a while for the supply and profit of our hope, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits the king's remembrance.
We both obey, and here give up ourselves in the full bent to lay our service freely at your feet, to be commanded. Thanks, Rosencrantz, and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz, and I beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son.
Heaven make our presence and our practices pleasant and helpful to him.
Aye, amen.
Come, sirs, follow him, friends. We'll hear a play tomorrow. Dost thou hear me, old friend? Can you play The Murder of Gonzago?
Aye, my lord.
Uh, well, hot tomorrow night. You could for a neat study a speech of some dozen or 16 lines, which I would set down and insert in it. Could you not?
Aye, my lord.
Very well. Follow that, Lord, and look you mock him not. My good friends, I'll leave you till tonight. You are welcome to Encelenor. Good, my lord. So have you caught up?
Not yet. You left us.
Ah, I've forgotten. You performed a dramatic spectacle by the wayside, a thing much thought of the New Testament. How did yours compare as an impromptu?
Badly, neither witnessed nor reported.
Yes, I'm sorry we had to miss it. I hope you didn't leave anything out. I'd be furious to think I didn't miss all of it.
We can't look each other in the face. You don't understand the humiliation of it. To be tricked out of a single assumption which makes our existence viable, that somebody is watching. There we are, demented children mincing about in clothes that no one ever wore, speaking as no man ever spoke, and every gesture, every pose vanishing into the thin, unpopulated air. We ransomed our dignity to the clouds, and the uncomprehending birds listened. Don't you see? We're actors. We're the opposite of people. Think in your head. Now, think of the most private, secret, intimate thing you have ever done, secure in the knowledge of its privacy. Are you thinking of it? Well, I saw you do it.
You never. It's a lie.
We're actors. We were caught high and dry. It was not until the murder's long soliloquy that we were able to look around. Our heads began to move, wary as lizards. The corpse of unsullied Rosalinda peeped through his fingers, and the king faltered. Even then, habit and a stubborn trust that our audience spied upon us from behind the nearest bush forced our bodies to blunder on long after they had emptied of meaning, until, like runaway carts, they dragged to a halt. No one came forward. No one shouted at us. The silence was unbreakable. It imposed itself upon us. It was obscene. We took off our crowns and swords and cloth of gold and moved silent on the road to Elsinore.
Brilliantly recreated. If these eyes could weep, rather strong on metaphor, mind you. No criticism, only a matter of taste. And so here you are with a vengeance. That's a figure of speech, isn't it? Well, let's say we've made up for it. For you may have no doubt whom to thank for your performance at the court.
We already have an entry here and always have had.
You've played for him before.
Yes, sir.
Where are you going?
I can come and go as I please.
You're evidently a man who knows his way around.
I've been here before.
Where we're still finding our feet.
I should concentrate on not losing your heads.
Do you speak from knowledge?
Precedent.
You've been here before,
And I know which way the wind is blowing.
operating on two levels, are we? How clever. I expect it comes naturally to you. Being in the business, so to speak, the truth is, we value your company for want of any other. We have been left so much to our own devices. After a while, one welcomes the uncertainty of being left to the other peoples.
Uncertainty is the normal state. You're nobody special.
Uh, but for God's sake, what are we supposed to do?
Relax! Respond. That's what people do. You cannot go through life questioning your situation at every turn.
But we don't know what's going on or what to do with ourselves. We don't know how to act.
Act natural. You know why you're here at least.
We only know what we're told, and that's little enough. And for all we know, it isn't even true.
For all anyone knows, nothing is. Everything has to be taken on trust. Truth is only that which is taken to be true. It is the currency of living. There may be nothing behind it, but it doesn't make any difference so long as it is honored. One acts on assumptions. What do you assume?
Hamlet is not himself, outside or in. We have to glean what afflicts him. He doesn't give much away.
Who does anyway nowadays?
He's melancholy,
Melancholy?
mad.
How is he mad?
Uh, How is he mad? More morose than mad, perhaps.
Melancholy.
Moody. He has moods.
Of moroseness?
Madness, and yet quite. For instance, he talks to himself, which might be madness. If he didn't talk sense, which he does, which suggests the opposite.
Of what?
I think I have it. A man talking sense to himself is no madder than a man talking nonsense not to himself, or just as mad, or just as mad. And he does both. So there you are, stark raving sane.
The old man thinks he's in love with his daughter.
Good God, we're out of our depth here.
No, 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 no. He hasn't got a daughter. The old man thinks he's in love with his daughter.
The old man is?
Hamlet. In love with the old man's daughter. The old man thinks.
It's beginning to make sense. Unrequited passion. Nobody leaves this room without a very good reason.
Why not?
All this strolling about is getting too arbitrary by half. I'm rapidly losing my grip. From now on, reason will prevail.
I have lines to learn.
Pass. Next, death followed by eternity, the worst of both worlds. It is a terrible thought,
Did he receive you well?
most like a gentleman, but with much forcing of his disposition, but of our but of our demands most free in his reply.
Did you essay him to any pastime?
Madam, it so fell out that certain players we orarot on the way, of these we told him, and then did seem in him a kind of joy to hear it. They are here about the court, and, as I think, they have already ordered this night to play before him. 'Tis most true, and he beseeched me to entreat your majesties to hear and see the matter. With all my heart, and it doth content me to hear him so incline. Good gentlemen, give him a further edge, and drive his purpose into these delights. We shall, my lord. Sweet Gertrude, leave us too, for we have closely sent to for Hamlet hither, that he, as 'twere by accident, may here affront Ophelia. Nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Good my lord, how does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well, well, well.
Ding.
Guess who?
Alfred!
Excuse me?
I beg your pardon.
What did he do?
I put my foot down.
My hand was on the floor. You put your hand under his foot? What for? I thought, don't leave me.
Right! We haven't got much time.
What are you doing?
Dress rehearsal. Now, if you two wouldn't mind just moving back. Mm-hmm. There. Good. Everyone ready? And for goodness sake, remember what we're doing. Stop picking your nose, Alfred. When queens have to, they do it by a cerebral process passed down in the blood. Good. Silence! Off we go!
Full 30 times have Phobius caught.
No, 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 no! Dumb show first, your confounded majesty. They're a bit out of practice, but they always pick up wonderfully for the deaths. It brings out the poetry in them.
How nice.
There's nothing more unconvincing than an unconvincing death.
I'm sure.
Act one moves now!
What is the dumb show for?
Well, it's a device, really. It makes the action that follows more or less comprehensible. You understand? Uh, we are tied down to a language which makes up in obscurity what it lacks in style.
Who was that?
The king's brother and uncle to the prince.
Not exactly fraternal.
Not exactly avuncular as time goes on.
Full 30 times have Phobius caught.
Gentlemen! It doesn't seem to be coming. We are not getting it at all. What did you think?
What was I supposed to think?
You're not getting across!
That didn't look like love to me. Starting from scratch again?
It was a mess.
It's going to be chaos on the night. Keep back. We're spectators.
Act two, position.
Wasn't that the end?
Do you call that an ending? With practically everyone on his feet? My goodness, no! Over your dead body.
How am I supposed to take that?
Lying down. There's a design at work in all art. Surely you know that. Events must play themselves out to aesthetic, moral, and logical conclusion. It never varies. We aim at the point where everyone who is marked for death dies.
Who decides?
Decides, it is written. We're tragedians, you see. We follow directions. There is no choice involved. The bad end unhappily, the good unluckily. That it is what tragedy means. Position! Go! Oh. Having murdered his brother and wooed the widow, the poisoner mounts the throne. Here we see him and his queen give rein to their unbridled passion. She, little knowing that the man she holds in her arms.
Oh, I say here, really, you can't do that.
Why not?
Well, really, I mean, people want to be entertained. They don't come expecting sordid and uh, gracious grass filth.
You're wrong. They do. Murder, seduction, and incest. What do you want, jokes?
I want a good story with a beginning, middle, and end.
And you?
I'd prefer art to mirror life, if it's all the same to you.
It's all the same to me, sir. All right, no need to indulge yourselves. I come on in a minute. Lucianus, nephew to the king. Next! Lucianus, nephew to the king, usurped by his uncle and shattered by his mother's incestuous marriage, loses his reason, throwing the court into turmoil and disarray as he alternates between bitter melancholy and unrestricted lunacy, staggering from the suicidal to the homicidal. He at last confronts his mother and, in a scene of provocative ambiguity, begs her to repent and recant. The king, tormented by guilt, haunted by fear, decides to dispatch his nephew to England and entrusts this undertaking to two smiling accomplices, friends, courtiers, to two spies, giving them a letter to present to the English court. And so they depart on board ship, and they arrive and disembark and present themselves before the English king. The English king! But where is the prince? Where indeed? The plot has thickened! Dun, dun, dun. A twist of fate and cunning has put into their hands a letter that seals their deaths! Traitors, hoist by their own petard, or victims of the gods, we shall never know.
Well, if is it no, no, wait a minute. Don't tell me. It's a long time since where was it? This is taking me back to when it wasn't. I know you, don't I? I never forget a face. Not that I know yours, that is. For a moment I thought, no, I don't know you. Do I? Yes, I'm afraid you're quite wrong. You must have mistaken me for someone else.
Are you familiar with this play?
No,
A slaughterhouse, 8 corpses all told. It brings out the best in us.
you. What do you know about death?
It's what the actors do best. They have to exploit whatever talent is given to them, and their talent is dying. My own talent is more general. I extract significance from melodrama, a significance which it does not in fact contain, but occasionally, from out of this matter, there escapes a thin beam of light that, seen at the right angle, can crack the shell of mortality.
Is that all they can do? Die?
No, no. They kill beautifully. In fact, some of them kill even better than they die. The rest die better than they kill. They're a team.
Actors, the mechanics of cheap melodrama.
Oh,
This isn't death. You scream and choke and sink to your knees, but it doesn't bring death home to anyone. It doesn't catch them unawares and start to whisper in their skulls that says, one day you are going to die. You die so many times. How can you expect them to believe in your death?
au contraire. On the contrary, it's the only kind they do believe. They're conditioned to it. Audiences know what to expect, and that is all that they are prepared to believe in. Show! Aha! All in the same boat then. Everybody out! Where are we?
Traveling.
Of course, we haven't got there yet.
Are we all right for England?
You look all right to me. I don't think they're very particular in England. Alfred!
What are you doing here?
Traveling, right? Blend into the background. Pleased to see us? You've come out of it very well so far.
And you?
In disfavor. Our play offended the king.
Yes.
Well, he's a second husband himself. Tactless, really.
It was quite a good play, nevertheless.
We never really got going. It was getting quite interesting when they stopped it. That's the way to travel.
What were you doing in there?
Hiding. We had to run for it just as we were.
Stowaways.
Naturally, we didn't get paid, owing to circumstances ever so slightly beyond our control, and all the money we had we lost betting uncertainties. Life is a gamble at terrible odds. If it was a bet, you wouldn't take it. Did you know that any number doubled is even?
Is it?
We learn something every day to our cost. But we troopers, just go on and on. Do you know what happens to old actors?
What?
Nothing. They're still acting. Surprised then?
What?
Surprised to see us?
I knew it wasn't the end.
With practically everyone on his feet. What do you make of it so far?
We haven't got much to go on. A compulsion towards philosophical introspection in his chief characteristic, if I may put it like that. It does not mean he is mad. It does mean he isn't. Very often, it does not mean anything at all, which may or may not be a kind of madness. It really boils down to symptoms: pregnant replies, mystic illusions, mistaken identities, arguing his father is his mother, that sort of thing. Intimate intimations of suicide, foregoing of exercise, loss of mirth, stabbing his elders, abusing his parents, insulting his lover, and sighing like a lovesick schoolboy, which at his age is coming on a bit strong, and talking to himself. Well, where has that got us? Incidents. All we get is incidents. Dear God, is it too much to expect a little sustained action? They've gone. That was close. I never thought quicker. Where's,
Once more, alone, on our own resources.
what do you mean? Where is he?
Gone.
Gone where?
Yes, we were dead lucky there, if that's the word I'm after.
Dead?
Lucky.
Is he dead?
Who knows?
He's not coming back.
Hardly.
He's dead then. He's dead as far as we've concerned.
Or we are as far as he is. Not too bad, is it?
But he can't. We're supposed to be. We've got a letter. We're going to England with a letter for the king.
Yes, that much seems certain. I congratulate you on the unambiguity of your situation.
But you don't understand. It contains. We've had our instructions. The whole thing's pointless without him.
Pirates could happen to anyone. Just deliver the letter. They'll send ambassadors from England to explain.
Can't see. The pirates left us home and high, dry and home. Dro, the pirates left us high and dry.
There,
Nothing will be resolved without him.
there,
We need Hamlet for our release.
there.
What are we supposed to do?
This.
A letter. Yes, that's true. That's something. A letter. As England is Denmark's faithful tri tributary, as love between them like the palm might flourish, etc., that on the knowing of this contents without delay of any kind, should those bearers, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, put to sudden death.
They've gone. It's all over.
Where we went wrong was getting on a boat. We can move, of course, change direction, rattle about, but our movement is contained within a larger one that carries us along and inexorably as the wind and current. They had it in for us, didn't they? Right from the beginning. Who would have thought that we were so important? But why? Was it all for this? Who are we that so much should have converged on our little deaths? Who are we?
You are Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. That's enough.
No, it is not enough. To be told so little to such an end, and still, finally, to be denied an explanation?
In our experience, most things end in death.
Your experience. Actors. I'm talking about death. You've never experienced that.
Oh,
You cannot act it. You die 1,000 casual deaths with none of that intensity which squeezes out life. And no blood runs cold anywhere. Because even as you die, you know that you will come back in a different hat. But no one gets up after death. There is no applause. There's only silence and some secondhand clothes. And that's death. If we have a destiny, then so had he. And if this is ours, then that's what's his. And if there are no explanations for us, then let there be none for him.
uh, 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 uh. Oh, come, gentlemen. No flattery. It was merely competence. What did you think? You see, it is the kind they do believe it in. It's what is expected. For a moment, you thought I'd cheated.
Oh, very good, very good. Took me in completely. Didn't he take you in completely? Encore, encore.
Deaths for all ages and occasions. Deaths by suspension, convulsion, consumption, incision, execution, asphyxiation, and malnutrition. Climactic carnage by poison, by steel. Double deaths by duel. Show! So, there's an end to that. It's commonplace. Light goes with life, and in the winter of your years, the dark comes early.
No, no, not for us, not like that. Dying is not romantic, and death is not a game which will soon be over. Death is not anything. Death is not. It is the absence of presence, nothing more. The endless time of never coming back, a gap you can't see. And when the wind blows through it, it makes no sound. That's it. Then, is it? The sun's going down, or the earth's coming up, as the fashionable theory has it. Not that it makes any difference. What was it all about? When did it begin? Could we just stay put? I mean, no one is going to come on and drag us off. They'll just have to wait. We're still young, fit, we've got years. We've done nothing wrong. We didn't harm anyone, did we? I can't remember. All right, then. I don't care. I have enough. To tell you the truth, I'm relieved. Our names shouted in a certain dawn, a message, a summons. There must have been a moment at the beginning where we could have said no, but somehow we missed it. Rosen, get well, we'll know better next time. Now you see me. Now you.
The signal is dismal, and our affairs from England come too late. The ears are senseless that should give us hearing to tell him his commandment is fulfilled, that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead.